YouTube tarot reader Lisa Lee has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. You saw me just then catching, I was just looking at something else. I was like, oh, we're live. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are all very well. Do excuse me, I'm just finishing off my carrot juice. It's really tasty. I do have my coffee as well, so don't worry. I haven't been taken over by the body snatchers. It's all good. So then, let me take my glasses off because it's the reflection here with the monitors. It's very bad for, you know, having eye-to-eye contact, isn't it? Anyway, thank you, Ed, for your comment. Let's have a look at who is in today. Oh, no, I need to put my specs back on now because I can't see you otherwise. I'll put my specs on. Hang on. Here we go. Right, so good evening to God's daughter. Good evening to Shannon Demdike, the Wiccan Midnight Crafter, Sarah. Good evening to Ed. Just been chatting to you. Good evening to Holland. Welcome. You hit the table like John Oliver. I should know what that is. I do know John Oliver on the Daily Tonight Show with John Oliver, whichever that one is. I know. I just don't know it well enough to do that. Anyway, good evening to Eliza. Good evening to Patricia. Good evening to Renata, chatting about what we were just chatting about in the members only. Who else have we got here? So I think everybody's here. Yes. Oh, right. No, I've just seen what you were talking about. You're referring to Renata, chatting to Renata. So yes, good evening, everyone. Hopefully today's going to be a really lovely session. I'm in a really good mood today. I don't know why. My voice. That's a good start, isn't it? My voice is still a little bit croaky, but I've avoided any of the lurgy that's going around at the moment, so that's good. Touch wood. Carrot juice for the win. So yeah, hopefully we're all doing okay. So if you're new here on the channel, yes, Patricia, if you're new here on the channel, I've got to say welcome. And there's a couple of bits and pieces we need to talk about. If you are a regular on the channel, just hold your horses for 2 seconds while I talk about the housekeeping. Okay, so we've got some housekeeping. So first of all, I have to tell you that tarot, of course, is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions, my darling, about your own life. Okay, just bear that in mind. Tarot should never be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you're looking for support in those areas, please do seek out professionals in those areas. I am not a professional, just a gifted amateur. The other thing, as per YouTube's guidelines, you do have to be 18 years of age or over to get a reading on this channel. And how do you get a reading on this channel? Well, there are two ways. The easiest way, and I've just, with one touch of a button, I've just put it into the live chat. Look at me doing things. So you can send a super chat at any time to get your reading next. For a free reading, you do have to wait until I open the next round and then put your question in the chat, starting with the word question, and I will pick one of those at random. Okay, so just wait until I click one of the, or open one of the free rounds, and then put your question in, starting with the word question. Now, this is really important, everyone, right? Really important. I've got ADHD. I've got some amazing mods. My mods will kick you off the stream tonight if you keep posting over and over and over again the same question, or if you just keep posting questions in the chat over and over and over that are to do with the tarot readings, because when I'll open up a free round, that's when it's time to bung them in. If we get 10 people putting readings in at that point, you've got a 1 in 10 chance. If 3 people, it's a 1 in 3. that is when we open that free round. That is your opportunity to get a free reading. If you want to purchase a reading and have that energy exchange between myself and yourself, and also help support the channel and also donate a percentage to charity, then you can do that by sending a super chat, and that can be of pretty much any amount. So like $5, $15, whatever you want to spend, whatever you want to send. There's not like a minimum on that. And that's what I would recommend, because that is how tarot reading has basically evolved from that idea of cross my palm with silver. The idea is that you are purchasing my experience, my knowledge, and my training with the cards. So that is what that is based on, and it's still to this day that energy exchange. It's why if you see any of my witch casket unboxings, I never show the scrolls. I never go through the magical workings or spell work in those boxes in that monthly subscription box, because again, that energy exchange isn't there. So yeah, anyway, that's all the housekeeping. Also, there are certain words that our lovely chatbot, I can't remember what's Nightbot, doesn't like. Okay, certain words, if you use lots and lots of emojis, it doesn't like that for some reason. And if you use certain swear words or negative words in any way, like, you know, I can't say any of the words, you know, like the nasty words, you wouldn't call someone by those nasty words, you know, like the N word and the F word and all those pejoratives. Don't do that. Yes, Holland is very right here. At one point, potato was being flagged. I don't know why potato was an issue, but Nightbot had an issue with the word potato. Anyway, good evening to Neens as well. If you're joining us, come and say hello in the live chat. And yeah, I've done the housekeeping. We've done everything else. It's time. Shall we go straight ahead? Shall we open a round? 8 minutes in. Shall we open a round? A free round. Let's get cracking with the knacking. I still don't know what that means. Can someone tell me what the knacking was? I don't know whether that's just a UK expression. Here we go. I'm going to put the microphone just there. No. Just there. There we go. I don't know if it's only a UK only expression, but what does let's get cracking with the knacking mean? What was the knacking? I don't know what that is. Let me have a look. What's happening? No one's saying. Right. Okay. I thought for a second the moderators, the moderators, our house monitors. Yes, our hall monitors. You little prefect badge. Yes, well, but it'll be something medieval. Could be. I don't know. Does anyone know? What was knacking? Oh, that's not good. Oh, I thought it was like necking on, like snogging. I didn't realize it was something like that. Okay, thank you. That's not as funny as I thought it was now. But anyway, right, let's open up a round. So then go ahead and put your question into the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will get to one of them at random. If you want to guarantee that your reading is up next, you can always do that by sending a super chat. Just in case you've missed all of what I've said, here's a handy dandy reminder. Yes, indeed. Let's have a look. Oh, that's very true. Hold on 1 second. That's very true, Ed. Hence the scrap man also being known as the Knackers Yard. So-and-so is sent to the Knackers Yard. Absolutely. Right then, it looks like we've only got one question in. So, Eliza, it does look as if you are getting today's first freebie reading. So then, I'm going to hit the star and take it onto the other screen. Here we go then. So, Eliza, let's have a look at the cards. Good evening, Eliza. I hope you are well today. Let me change over to the card cam. There we go. Oh, I meant to change the battery on this, didn't I? Never mind. That's as bright as that's going to get, unfortunately, everybody. Hopefully that's still visible. Today's deck, we spoke about it in the members only, and it seems that the Lightseers, I mentioned it and then was like, should we just do that one? So this is the Lightseers deck. If you've never seen this one before, it's very beautiful, very sort of very mystical, very, I don't know, I just think it's beautiful. It's a really nice sort of earthy, just folkloric, just wonderful deck. Anyway, that's what we're going to use tonight, and hopefully you'll be able to hear Wispy's music come in, the wind chimes. So Wispy is here on the stream. Welcome, good evening, Wispy. So then let's have a look. Oh, thank you, Neil. Thank you very much, Neil. Right, Neil. Remember, anything shared on the internet is here forever. Please be mindful of sharing any personal information online that may cause in real life problems. Exactly. This is really, hang on, where's the, let me go on the other screen. It's because I was on the wrong screen. There we go. It's really important to remember that, everyone. Don't put out on the internet things that you wouldn't want the whole world in your community knowing about, okay? And also remember, anything shared on the internet is shared on the internet for life. You might not want information out there, and you might, you know, I could delete this live stream off of YouTube once it's over. Once it's out there, you can't take it back. You know what I mean? The shit is out of the horse. You cannot take it back. So just bear that in mind. Anyway, we'll go ahead and there we go. Sorry, everybody. I'm back. Sorry. Yeah, we're back. So I don't know what is happening with my internet. Everything is saying at my end it's connected. However, it doesn't appear to be. So yeah. All I can do is apologize, everyone. Hopefully this will be okay as we go through the stream. I don't know whether Virgin is going down with their internet, or whether it's an issue between Virgin and StreamYard. I've got no idea what it is, but something is not 100%. Hopefully I've got new cables coming tomorrow, and hopefully a new router coming this week as well. So fingers crossed it will all be okay. So we're going to try and get through as much as we can on today's stream. Apologies, everybody. Right then, so Wispy, Eliza wants to know what are the plans and next actions of R towards her for the month of February. So what are the apparently Holland, Virgin is the most complained about internet company out there. So, and I don't in any way, shape or form dispute that. So yeah, right, here we go. So then, Wispy, let's bring you back in officially. There we go. What are the plans and next action of R towards Eliza during February? So what is coming up in February? Let's have a look. We'll do the... we'll do... Okay. We'll do... Let me have a look. I think we'll just do the where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity is. Okay, if that makes sense. So yeah, here we go. Let's cut the cards. By the way, if you're new here, please do hit that like button. It really, really helps out myself and the channel, especially when the internet's being a bit wobbly. Right, so interesting. We've got in the where you are position, we've got the 9 of Wands reversed. So Wands for me is all about security and is all about how you see yourself, your self-esteem, self-confidence, all of that. The 9s are when it is very full, okay? But this is reversed. So I think where you are right now, I think there's a lot of insecurity going on between within your head, between you and R, if that makes sense. It's almost like you're sat by the phone waiting for him to ring, but like back in the old days where you had a landline. And it's almost like, you know, this day and age, you'll be checking your phone every 5 seconds, see whether he sent you a text. It's that sort of vibe about it, where it feels like you're quite insecure when it comes to this particular relationship. So not necessarily connected with that how you are in everyday life, just when it comes down to you and R, if that makes sense, because this is reversed. Now, what you need to know, we've got the 6 of Cups reversed. So there's something here about a community element and a relationship with maybe other people, or something about the community that could be family that are maybe not entirely accepting as things progress, because we've got this element here of this is supposed to be the same people, like the puppy and the child with the gray-haired man and the dog. Now that doesn't make any sense to me, because the dog would have to be like 40 years old for, you know what I mean? It's like it doesn't quite work. But there is something here around what you need to know around this idea of community, this idea of there being how can I put it? I don't think R wants to do anything publicly, put it that way, right? So if there are emotions involved, because the 6 is about it is about bringing in other people, celebrating milestones, having those sort of big moments together, but doing it in a publicly facing way. If R doesn't want that, then there's a question mark here. This is what you need to know. Maybe R isn't going to do anything this month coming. Maybe there's not going to be a big romantic moment for you on the 14th. Maybe there's not going to be this sort of outpouring of emotions because this is reversed. So there's an element here around maybe what you want versus what R wants. And then the opportunity is coming up. We've got the 8 of Pentacles. Now, this is an interesting one, because it's talking about there being a lot of work to carry on with, a lot of work to do, if that makes sense. Because we've got the 8 Pentacles, we've got this moon, this transitioning moon element. So this is a monthly sort of moon cycle. So we are looking at maybe something's going to happen towards the end of the month. Don't know. Pentacles is work, career, finances. So there could be something here around that. It's often seen, this card is often seen as working too hard, burning the midnight oil, burning the candle at both ends. All of that comes up a lot with the 8 of Pentacles, but it is also a stepping stone card towards the 9. So it's saying that work is not done yet. The work is not finished yet. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it feels like, I don't know whether there's going to be a massive interaction in February, because for whatever reason, R can't really do anything publicly, if that makes sense. So I would say it feels like maybe into the end of the month that there might be more contact. Eliza, I don't know. It doesn't feel there's no romantic element here. There's no lovely, positive, upbeat message here. It all feels that you're a bit insecure about the relationship. R doesn't necessarily want to have anything public, or isn't able to do anything public at the moment. No big declarations of love, no big sort of romantic gestures, but that something will shift towards the end of the month, and that there is going to be this continuing of that work energy towards the end of the month, if that makes sense. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense, my darling. So sorry for the interruption, but hopefully that makes sense to you. And yeah, that is going to be your reading for today. Thank you very much for the question. Let's have a look in the live chat. What? It would go to a mill where it would be ground up. What would? Animal bones. Oh, okay. Fabulous. Hopefully that helps, Eliza. Yeah, okay. Hopefully that helps, my darling. I really do. What fertilizer? What is bone meal? Yeah, bone meal is good for roses. I know that much. The old rag and bone men used to collect the bones of dead. Did they? I didn't know that. Rag and bone. I never knew that's where the name came from. Oh, that's interesting. That is interesting. Yeah. Anyway, yes. Also, you can also hit the like button if you're old and have been here before. Yes, as well. It will. Sorry, I didn't mean to just say if you're just new here. Anybody can hit that like button. That would really help me out, especially because every time we pause, we lose half of the viewers. So yes, thank you very much if you haven't done already. Right then, let's have a look. Shall we just go for another reading? Shall we just go straight into another one? I think we should. I know, right? I did not know. So get cracking with the knacking is to get cracking with the bopping on the head or something about that. There you go, names. There you go. What was I saying? See, the cards know. The cards absolutely know. The cards know. I don't have a clue. I've got no idea what I'm saying when I do the readings. Hence the ADHD kind of mistrack. But the cards know. They absolutely do. I'm glad you blocked him. I'm glad that was something that you were forewarned and forearmed. Yeah. Thank you, Ed. But that's really, I'm really pleased that gave you, that you were forewarned on that, because that, again, that's what happens, isn't it? I did a reading for somebody on Fiverr, because you can still book me on fiverr.com/Beyond Authentic, but the I in authentic is actually a 1. But you can book me on there if you don't want to go to the website just down here. You can book me there as well. And I did a reading for somebody who's doing a full-on financial investigation into something. And the reading that came up was really, really interesting. And I was discussing things in the reading that I do not know anything about, like to do with financial irregularities and things like that. And I had no idea whatsoever as to what I was focusing on, but the cards were coming up and were adamant that there was definitely something going on with whatever this person was investigating. It was absolutely fascinating for me to be sat here as a tarot reader discussing things that I've got no idea. And obviously I was like, look, this is not financial advice. But it was fascinating. I love how tarot works. I absolutely, and this is one of the things for me, I feel really, really privileged to have had this relationship with the cards for 29 years this year. And to have this knowledge and to have this ability to interpret the cards this way, and for it to connect with other people. Like, I do not know what I'm saying half the time when I'm doing a reading. And I've read for friends that are like, okay, Lisa, I need to tell you what's going on. Like, I'm divorcing my husband, but I haven't mentioned that to anyone yet. And the cards have gone, blah, 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 blah. It's all about breakup. It's all about long-term relationships. And it's me as an idiot going, I don't think that is right, though, because obviously you're not divorced, but the cards are saying there's a divorce. And then literally they go, look, Lisa, I have to tell you, we're getting a divorce. Like, we filed for it. We're officially separating. We're just waiting for this to come through, that to come through, and the other. And it's like, this is somebody I've known for donkey's years. And that just hadn't got round to letting other people know yet, but the cards knew. It's weird, isn't it? Weird. Anyway, I've stopped questioning the cards now. I've learned not to second guess them and just to trust what they are saying, because for a long time that was a hard thing for me. But I've got over myself. Anyway, shall we have another free round? Let's have another free round. So then, how do you get a tarot reading on this channel? As I say, you pop your channel, your question into the comment section, starting with the word question, or you can guarantee a reading and that your reading is up next by going across, by sending, a super chat. And that can be for any amounts, and I will read for super chats first. If we get multiple super chats in, say we get 3 at the same time, I will read for those in order. Once we've got to all of those, I will then open up another free round. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. If not, here's a quick little video just to give you that in sort of bullet form, really. Oh, press the wrong button. Sorry, everybody. Right then, let's have a look. So I've got 2 questions in. So because I've got 2 questions in, we go over to the talisman, taliswoman, talisperson. Yeah, the talis. Is that even the right word? Talisman. Yes, it is. Today we're using the fire talisman. And so I'm going to swap cameras. We're going to swap cameras. So we've got the fire talisman. So the first question came in from Mr. Lynn 67 from Amy, and the second one came in from Neen. So Mr. Lynn, you will be our first whistle. No, you will go. You will be the fire symbol, which is that one. And Neens, you will be the witch casket fire writing. Okay, so you are the words, and Mr. Lynn, Amy is the symbol. Okay, so we're going to just do a spin, and it's falling on Neens. So Neens, your question is up. Amy, cut and paste or hold your question, and I will try and do it after this, my darling. So then, let me have a look. So in fact, yeah, I'm going to star yours, and I will star yours as well, Amy, just so I will do yours very, very soon. Exactly. You will go on my second whistle. We say this to the dogs every day. We go, Ruby, you will go for toilet on our first whistle. They don't know what we're talking about. I know. Uneducated. That's what our dogs are. Although, isn't Gladiators back on telly? Do they still do? Does anybody even watch it in the UK? Do they even do that? I don't know if they still do that, because it was that one Scottish referee, wasn't it? Go, Gladiator, you will go on my first whistle. Anyway, can't do. I should stop doing accents on the internet. It's going to be problematic every time I do it. Right, cleanse that space. Cleanse my mouth of doing accents. Yeah. Wispy, here we go. Wispy. Oopsie daisy. Oopsie daisy. Neens would like to know, is there a message from Spirit for Neens? You loved Gladiators. I loved it. Do you feel the power of the gladiators? Do, 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 do. Where they're on the travelator at the end. Oh, loved it. Loved it. You can go to the... Do you know there are... And completely off track, but you know there are like places to go where you can do Gladiators and American Ninja and all of that. You can go and do that with your kids and like do the assault coursey things. No, thank you. After seeing many, many well-trained, physically fit peaks of human physicality falling over and getting injured on Gladiators, I do not think that is somewhere that I would want to take anybody else's children or go myself. No, thank you. No, thank you. I will. The only cotton Q-bud thing that I will use is the ones I use to take my makeup off with around my eyes. Yes. So no. Anyway, right. Wispy, good evening. We do chat some nonsense on this channel. Wispy Names O'Day would like to know, is there a message from spirit? Is there a message from spirit? So again, then we'll do the where you are, what you need to know, what the opportunity is, names. So that is what we will take a look at. Right, I don't think a card flips there, but let me just no. We will do. Sorry, I know that whenever I drop the cards on the desk, it reverbs through the doodah, through the microphone. So then let's have a look. Here we go. So where you are, Queen of Swords reversed. Interesting. What you need to know. Ooh. And what the opportunity is. So we've got here the Moon and Judgment, but all three cards are reversed. So then let's have a look. Oh, Holland, you didn't need to do that, but thank you very much. I've just seen it come up starred. You didn't need to do that, Holland, but thank you. So where you are now, the Queen of Swords. I don't know if there is some shit happening in your life right now, right? Some like fairly big shit, right? Some stuff going on that you're working your way through. It feels very much, you can see we've got the air symbol here. It feels very much like there is some contemplation going on, some like, I always call it navel gazing, you know, where you're just like looking, thinking, where is my life going? What is my life's purpose? What is my, you know, why am I here? What am I doing? All of that stuff. If there's something like that going on and you've kind of been put into that position, this is what this card is relating to. Okay. So because it's reversed, it's like saying that this isn't like a new year, new me thing where you're like, I'm just going to reinvent myself. This isn't necessarily that. This is something different. This is something where you're kind of forced to do that in some way. So I don't know whether this is, you know, this is the idea of the universe saying, look, just, you might not be comfy doing this, but this is where you need to be right now. You need to be looking inward. You need to be contemplating what is happening, and what the troubles and strife is, even though it's been brought to you, if that makes sense. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because both of these other cards are very similar. One thing I was saying, Neens, is that this could, in fact, hang on, let me click on the live. Neens, can you, on the live chat, the question I would have if I was doing this face to face with you now, my darling, the question I would say is, have you been contemplating too much? Do you feel that you are stuck navel gazing at the moment? Because all of these three cards being reversed, they could either mean it's coming to you, it's something that you has been dumped on your lap, or it's something you've been doing too much of and you need to find a way to stop, to move forward. Does that make sense? It's either one of those two. It feels stagnant, right? So then this is very much, okay, you need to stop this. You need to find a way out of this, because all three cards, what they're basically saying in a nutshell is that you are stopping moving forward in all aspects of your life because you are spending too much time thinking about it. These cards are basically saying, look, this isn't a doing, this is a doing time, not a thinking time. Okay. It changes the Queen from being contemplative, as I was saying, to now you need to not do that as much. Okay. So I still think it's being brought to you, but with these other two cards reversed as well, I genuinely think it's time for you to, the cards are trying to say, look, it's time to move on, because we've got the Moon here. Now, the standard depiction of the Moon is either like this, where you can see the dog and the jackal. In this card, you can see the wolf and the dog, or the jackal, or whatever the animals are, but you can also see this ethereal mermaid, and she is being lit up by the light of the moon, but there is this ethereal element of what is going on deep under the surface, what is happening deep underneath. And it may be that you've been doing some shadow work, and it may be you've been working on yourself, self-improvement, self-exploration, all of that, but there comes a time where you are just howling at the moon and there's no action happening. And there comes a time where, like, learning all about yourself and how you've got to the place you are, that's all fantastic. That is wonderful shadow work. The problem is, once you've learned that, you're supposed to take action. So you're supposed to then move forward in a new way. You're supposed to go, well, not I say supposed to, as if it's like a commandment, but the idea is that, you know, once you realize how you got to where you are, that informs your next moves. And the cards feel very much like they're trying to say, you are in that first phase, working out how you got to where you are. You haven't begun moving on yet. You haven't begun going to phase 2, which is learning how that affects you and learning how to put it in practice into the next phase of your life. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like you've closed the end of a 3-book trilogy and you've come to the end of the first book and you're like, okay, let me think about that for a bit. And it's like, yeah, but there's these other bits that you haven't read yet. You can't think about what is happening to the characters because their story hasn't been fully told yet. It's like, just have a look over here. It's time to move on with the story. And it's fine when you've read a good book or seen a good film to think about, oh, I wonder what happens next. But when the next chapter comes out, when the next film comes out in the series, that's what is happening. It's time to do. Do you know what I mean? A bit of a bad analogy, but you hopefully you get what I'm trying to say, because the last card is Judgment. And Judgment, as it's normally depicted here, is like the angel calling the souls of the dead forward to be judged. And this one here, you can see this person's astral body, this person's entity, spirit, whatever you want to call it, has ascended. They're not dead, but the spirit has ascended and is going off to be judged. This is reversed, which means the judgment is on you. You are judging yourself really harshly for something. And this is it would be the opportunity position, but this is the opportunity is saying to stop being so bloody judgmental. Stop holding yourself up to these really super high ideals that you're probably not going to be able to live up to. It's like there's something here saying that the word I kept saying was supposed to, should, like there's something here where I don't think you should hold yourself to what you think you should be or supposed to be at this point, if that makes sense, right? Stop judging yourself too harshly. Stop looking back at what you've done and what your motivations were. It's like, you know that now, but it feels that you're being really judgmental to yourself. What I always say to people is, if one of your best friends was going through exactly what you're going through now and was in that same feeling of stagnation, that's stuck in a rut of inward looking, shadow work, inward looking, more inward looking, what would you say to your friend? At some point you would say, look, it's not your fault. Stop beating yourself up about it. The past is past. The only thing you can do now is to move forward with that knowledge. Stop beating yourself up for what's happened. And that, my darling, is I think what the cards are trying to tell you from wherever, from spirit, from the Akashic records, from my wonderful dragons. I do honestly think it's time to be a bit kinder to yourself, basically, my darling, and just allow yourself to move forward and incorporate whatever's happened, incorporate that into your life and move forward, my darling. So yeah, I hope that helps. Excuse me. Patricia says, you cannot move forward and meet your future if you're spending too much time in the past. Exactly. Let it go. Let it go. The past go. Don't look back. You ain't going that way. Don't look back in anger. I heard you say. You've been trying to find someone to help you with inner child healing, but not been able to find anyone. You feel like you need to raise your vibration, but not sure how. Do you know how you raise your vibration? Do you know how genuinely the easiest way and the best way I have found of raising your vibration is to do a little bit of meditation every day, a little bit of mindfulness, do a little bit of, like, you can go as far as doing a little bit of Reiki, a little bit of self-love, and to get out in the world and to make things happen. If you want to see a change in the world, be that change. Be the strange you wish to see in the world. Be that change. And as Patricia says, excuse me, if you do want to interact with your inner child, you can do, but you also need to be able to move on. Does that make sense? And the thing is, a lot of our inner childs our inner children, our inner self, a lot of our inner selves are very damaged and very hurt by the world. And also we can believe that we've hurt our inner child. But at the end of the day, if you hadn't gone through what you've gone through in your life, you wouldn't be the person you are today and where you are today. And you wouldn't have met the people that are important to you, the people that you love passionately, the people that are, you know, there for you, the people that are in your phone, the people that you care about. No, none of those people would be in your life if you had changed anything. And so, yes, speak to your inner child and comfort them and, you know, do all of that. But also be very mindful that where you are right now is a good starting off point for making your future whatever you need it to be. And if you were to go back in time and unpick any of those really tough moments that we've all been through and not live that moment, you would not be the person you are now. We don't know whether that would make us a better person or a worse person. We just don't know. What moment in your childhood where somebody stole one of your toys and never gave it back? And how did that make you feel? And how then, when you were angry and wanting to steal someone else's toys and you stopped yourself because you didn't, you know what I mean? There's all these lessons and they're all interwoven in our character. And yes, we can go back and do shadow work and look at some of the causes for the way we are and some of the reasons. And you can change some of that. But also, you are where you are right now because of everything that's ever happened to you. So yeah, I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it? Like shadow work and inner work. But anyway, my darling, I hope that helps, and I do hope that that's giving you a little bit of peace. And yeah, stop being so bloody judgy. Okay, stop being so bloody judgy. The major cards come up when there's something major to tell you. Anyway, I'm going to move to Holland now. Holland is one of our moderators, and Amy, I will get to you after this, my darling. So Holland has sent a super chat. Really didn't need to, Holland, but thank you. Question: you're feeling aimless at the moment. What area of your life should you focus on to feel happy? I will do that for you right now. In fact, I tell you what, before I do, let me just slurp my coffee, and then I will hit a button and play this, and I will get to it. I'll get to you straight after this.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necro Neil. Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the Witcher community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com.
And this is indeed a reading for Holland from Blue Chalice, from Etsy.com. And yeah, Holland is one of our lovely moderators. Holland, I have known them for a few years in real life now, a few actual years in real life. I know, amazing. So yes, Holland, as I say, Holland, you really didn't need to send a super chat. As all the members know, you can always just ask on the members only live if you want a reading. Same to you, Amy, my darling. You can always just ask on the members only and I will do one for you. Absolutely no problem. But Holland, let's have a look then. So bloody cards. Wispy, Holland is feeling a little bit aimless at the moment. What area of their life should we focus? Should they focus on? Not me. I'm not in Holland's life in that way. What areas of Holland's life should they focus on to feel happy? That's what we want to know, Wispy. Okay. There we go. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. I don't know why that song is stuck in my head, but it is. Oh, it's going again. I knew it was going again. It didn't even look like it was, but it was going again. Right then. So we're going to do you, Holland, I tell you what, we'll do you the inverted V with here we go. You, where you are, what your path is, and what your potential path, what your potential is showing. And we'll do that as a 6 card. And then I'll also bring in a little bit of clarifying if we need to. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So Wispy, I hope that made sense. We're doing the you, your path of potential, and then we will look at some clarity around that. Right, where you are. Ooh, you've got the Empress. You win. You know, the Empress is my favorite ever card in the tarot deck. My favorite. The position, what is it? No, your path, where your path is headed at the moment. Page of Pentacles. Okay, interesting learning card. And the potential that you have, the High Priestess. Oh my lordy, looks of mercy. Right, so that's, I need to move them up, don't I, for the 6. So then that is what we are looking at on you, your path, and the potential. Again, that High Priestess energy coming in. And then the connective tissue between the cards. We've got, oh my God, we've got the Moon coming in as well. You're getting all the majors, Holland. Wow, I say 3 out of 4 isn't quite all of them, is it? The World. Okay, another major. Jeez. And then the 7 of Cups coming in. Ooh, interesting. Right, so we'll reserve these for a second and have a look and see what we can see. So in the where you are defining you at the moment, we've got the Empress energy. Now, you know, the Empress is my favorite card. You know that. So the Empress is absolutely my favorite. And I think that there is an element here around this wanting this abundance. I don't know whether there is a family issue. Now, again, you will all know I do not like decks where the Empress is seen as being pregnant, or the Empress is seen as being with child or nursing a newborn. Okay, because it's too much of a modern input on what the Empress is. Now, the Empress is normally about abundance and nurturing. That nurturing doesn't necessarily mean having a baby in one's belly, or having, you know, in this case, the whole world, and she's birthing the whole world, and the Gaia element. Gaia was a separate goddess to the Emperor, or to that Empress energy, arguably in the same sort of archetypal field, but very, very different. The Empress originally was about abundance and nurturing, not about being with child. So when I'm talking about this nurturing element, just forget, just think of the card like that, Holland. Because again, not everybody's able to have children, not everybody wants to have children. That should never be the pinnacle of what the Empress represents. But in this deck, that's how it's drawn. Okay, caveat over. You at the moment, this abundance and almost this caring for and looking after energy, I think it will be obvious as to where that energy is going in your life at the moment, without saying anything on the YouTubes. But I do think that nurturing energy is very, very valid. Now, the one thing I will say is we've got this linking between the Earth and the Moon, and we've got the Moon coming in here. So that, to me, connects these two cards, right? Well, I'll get onto that in a second. But saying where you are with this nurturing energy, I think it's really important at the moment that you also are able to look after yourself, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? I really do think that makes sense. Excuse me. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, distraction. So I do think you're working your arse off to try and be carer, nurturer, whilst also trying to kind of stay focused on the career aspect and work and all of those bits and pieces. I think that is really, I get the feeling you're really trying to live up to this Empress type vibe. And I do feel that it's going to be difficult. Now, your path at the moment is a learning path and is something around finances. So again, I think there is a financial element going on where maybe you are finding yourself not at square one, but maybe you are finding yourself having to take a few steps back in order to refocus. Now, again, that could be down to what's happening in your life with your other half and having to change focus. It could be all sorts of bits and pieces, but it does really feel like your path is almost scaling back, ready to go again. A bit like, you know how in the Big Bang, right? The Big Bang theory of the universe, right? So not the TV show, but there's like, you got the Big Bang and then there's the big suck. I don't know what they call it, where everything's kind of coming back together and eventually it's all going to come back together and then go again. It's like you are currently in that phase of everything coming back in and waiting for the next, which is here. And the potential, your potential at the moment is high priestess energy. Oh my fucking God. Again, take off the priestess, because again, horrendously gendered. But this idea of going into your spiritual self, going into this connection. I love how her eyes are closed and yet her eyes are open. It's like, you know what I mean? This Empress knows shit. She is connected to spirituality. She's connected to the universe, to the cosmos, to the all energy. She is absolutely connected in a very, very, very important and powerful way. And so I don't know whether any of your areas of your life you want to focus on, I don't know if any of that is to do with your spirituality and getting more and more involved, maybe in divination, doing tarot or runes or things like that, healing elements, Reiki, anything like that. If there's something here around really focusing in on that element, then this is what that card is saying with the potential. Now, the connective tissue between the Empress and this new sort of looking in to then go out in a whole different direction. So, you know, I don't know what that will be. I don't know what the right word is for that. There is something there. It's like it's like contracting, ready to explode somewhere else. It's like, and that might make sense here as well, actually thinking about it, because it's almost like you are waiting to birth something into the universe. Do you know what I mean? So it's like this full potential is here. It's just not there yet. The connection we've got is the moon. Now, the moon's energy is, for me, all about, again, navel gazing to a certain extent, but it's also all about looking at that empathic connection, looking at that connection to the moon, the lunar, the energies, the spirit. And again, this is reversed. So there is an element here of maybe wanting to step back, but then being drawn to it, if that makes sense. So it's almost like head and heart kind of situation, where it's like, if I do this, if I follow my heart and what my heart is telling me, financially, it's going to impact me in quite a negative way. So it's kind of that connection where you're feeling the pull, the tidal forces, like you are this mer person and you can feel the tidal forces pulling on you, but you're trying to swim against the tide in a certain way when it comes to that spiritual connection, because we've also got the world connecting this new start with the high priestess. Now, the fact that the world here is reversed is, I mean, again, you can see the standard. This I quite like because it veers from the standard, but is also the standard of this person inside the wheel, the Ouroboros never-ending circle, with the elements reflected as you would see on the normal deck. But this world is reversed. So again, it's saying, I don't think this is saying it's not going to happen. I think this is reflecting your own nervousness and maybe your own reticence about moving forward in that direction, because it's literally saying, look, you've got this opportunity to have the world, to have all of this open to you, to step through this gateway and become a whole different self and really develop this side. But at the moment, there's a bit of a push-pull element, because again, both of these cards are reversed. So there is this element of reservation going on, if that makes sense. At the root of it, we've got the Seven of Cups. I think that this is. I really wish I could talk about what's going on in your life, but I think this is really rooted, connected to what's happening in real life, because the Seven of Cups is talking about emotional choices, really difficult emotional choices. And it's literally, you've got to turn over one of these cups. Some of them will be snakes, some of these will be ladders, some of these will be dragons, right? But what this is saying is, because this is reversed, it's like all of these choices you're kind of having to make even more difficult ones because of what is happening in real life, because of what your concerns are, and everything that's going on. It's like some of these choices you don't feel you're able to make them. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you've got a completely free choice. There is an emotional element here, head over heart, plus this need for nurturing and looking after at the moment. And I think that is what this lack of focus is, because it feels like a lot of choices that you would have made quite simply up here, there's a little bit of second guessing because of long-term plans and what that means for the people in your life, if that makes sense. So Wispy, we're going to clarify I want to clarify the High Priestess and the Empress. So we're going to do the Empress first, sorry. So we've got the Two of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Two of Wands, couple, and confidence around that couple. So this will be you and your partner. Very, very highlighted here in the confidence. So this is not the first flows of, romantic, ooh la la. This is very much the ongoing togetherness to become one. That is absolutely screaming out. This is where you are, very, very committed. But there's also this new approach to this relationship, which is coming in with this Empress. Okay, so this new approach of new ways of loving, new ways of knowing each other, new ways of being with each other, if that makes sense. Linking in with this Empress, this need for nurturing. In with the High Priestess, we've got the Seven of Wands, more wand energy, and the Knight of Wands, more wand energy again. So where you're headed, there's a certain element here of, again, a crystal ball, divination. There's an element here around the wands being, again, there's some difficult decisions to make. This is more upright. So this is saying that the difficult decisions in going down this spiritual path are actually more about how to do it and what area that should take, rather than is it right or is it wrong? Do you know what I mean? It's like this decision's already been made. This is where you need to head. But there's a certain element of not wanting to jump in before you're ready, which is where this reverse Knight comes in. So that is literally saying you don't want to just dive into something. You don't want to dive into the pool without knowing how deep it is, without knowing where the bottom is. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully that makes some sense, Holland. It feels like there is this ongoing kind of connection here around your personal life, your relationships and things like that. And there is this ongoing shift into being slightly different, but also being deeper, if that makes sense. There's like a deeper connection here. But financially, I think there is a need for you to make sure, or there is a feeling that you need to make sure that everything is okay, that everything is covered because of this page. And then we go to the opportunity and it's screaming out. Look, we've got literally High Priestess with a divination crystal ball and this idea of not wanting to jump before you're ready. I think this is really important, my darling. But thank you very much for the super chat. And I think this is a really pivotal time. And I do think that if you can find out exactly what this divination spiritual connection is, and if you can make this work, this feels incredibly right for you. Incredibly right for you. You've got so many major cards in this spread, and the ones that are reversed are talking about not being certain, not being sure, not being 100%. Go for it is what I would say. But anyway, thank you very much for your comment. Thank you very much for your super chat. Anne says it. I will get to yours very, very soon, my darling. Next. And thank you ever so much, everyone, for bearing with me with that super chat reading. As I always say, super chat readings are always longer. They're 10 card readings. They do take a little bit longer. They go a hell of a lot deeper. And yeah, so I hope that helps, Holland. I really do. Let me have a little look. Oh, Jay's here. Good evening, Jay. Good evening, Jay. Hang on. What's this? Talk to us when I was a kid. Auntie Lisa might recognize it. What might I recognize? There's also the parachute one, but I can't remember. I'll have the lyrics for that. Hang on, I don't know. Hang on 1 second. Let me just double check. Holland. Yeah, you will need to watch again later to take it all in. Well, I'm gonna be chatting to you tomorrow night, talking about Nightbot. Oh, which incidentally is just below your comment there. So yeah, I will absolutely. We can look at it tomorrow again if you want. But yes, as Ed says, yeah, please wait until I open a round. There will be a round coming. So if you are wanting a reading, do just bear with me 1 moment. I'm just back in the chat. Hang on, I'm trying to see what Jay was talking about. Oh, there was no lady of 92, parlez-vous. There was no lady of 92. Tried to fart and had a poo, inky pinky parlez-vous. Something like that. Something like that. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something like that. Parlez-vous. There was no lady of 92. Parlez-vous. There was no lady of 92. Something, 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 something. Inky pinky parlez-vous. You tried the Fiverr link, but it couldn't find me. Oh my gosh. Really? Let me, I tell you what, give me 1 second. This is just, I know it's my hold music now. Don't you cares away, clap clap. Worries for another day. Let the music play. Down at Fraggle Rock. I know this is probably going to be copyrighted now, isn't it? Right, I can't find the link. I've got the thing, but I can't find the link. How do I share that link? Right, my business, my gigs. That one's there. Yeah, I've got it. So share. Aha. Right, bear with. Copy link. And here we go. There you go. There's the link. That links directly to my thingy. You're loving my birds. What, the crows? Thank you very much. They're very well trained, aren't they? They don't move. They do not move. Anyway, right. Let me have a look. No, you weren't insane. But I don't know what the song is. Anywho, right. Anne says it. Don't press end stream. Oh my gosh. Thank you to everyone that's joining. How it works on this channel, I'm sure the mods will tell you in the chat, is that when I get live, in fact, here we go. Look, I can do that. When super chats come in, I automatically read for them in turn. Okay. The free readings, if you want a free reading, hang on a second until I open up a free round, and then I will put I will ask for questions. The mods will ask you to put your questions in the live chat. You start them then. Okay. If that makes sense. Yay. Hopefully that makes sense. Right then, let me have a look. So we've got Anne Says It, who sent a super chat, and Anne would like to know G's feelings towards her. Right then, Anne, let's have a look. I'm going to change camera. Parlez-vous. I'm going to have to Google that now. I'm going to have to Google it and see what that was and see what the lyrics are. I am going to have to Google it. Right then, so let's cleanse the energy. Unfortunately, it doesn't clear earworms. There we go. That was a nice ring-a-ding-a-ding, wasn't it? There we go. Don't forget, everybody, if you are new here, please do hit that like button, but also subscribe. That'll be a good way of making sure that or that you are aware whenever I upload a video or go live. Now, the easiest way to do that once you have subscribed is to ding your bell. Change the computer to change the settings to all, and then YouTube should notify you when I go live. But we're live each and every Sunday evening and Tuesday evening from 7 p.m. And I've got some videos in the works that will start going out on the channel this coming week as well. Right then, so Wispy, Anne would like to know G's feelings towards them. What are G's feelings towards Anne says it? Let's have a look. Oh, we've had a card flip in the deck. Look at that, everybody. It's the 5 of Wands. Right. So this is classed as a clarifying card, Anne. Now, a clarifying card is exactly what it says on the tin. It clarifies the reading. So the 5 of Wands is talking about there being some tumultuousness is a word. There being some disagreements going on at the moment. Now, this is to do with your security. Excuse me, my throat. This is to do with your sense of self and your sense of security. So it feels like there's a little bit of self-doubt coming in at the moment. So we'll have a look at exactly what that relates to as we go through. It could be G's feelings, it could be yours. Well, keep an eye on that as we go through the reading. Just bear with me. Sorry, my throat is really dry. What we're going to use is I think we'll go with the where you are, or what you want, what G wants, and the relationship, if that makes sense. Okay, so we'll go. Now, I'll tell you what, we'll do it the way I've got it on my board. What you want, what the relationship looks like, and what G wants, if that makes sense. Right, so what you want. So what you want, or where you are, Page of Wands. What the relationship is looking like. Oh, King of Swords, right? And what G wants. The Ace of Swords. Right, okay. Okay, so connective tissues, let's have a look. Got the World coming up, upright. That's interesting. It came up reversed earlier. The 3 of Pentacles, and then the connective, or the root of everything. Let's have a look at that. We've got the Lovers reversed. Right, my darling. Oh, dear. I don't know what the connection is with G, what that relationship is, or what it looks like, but unfortunately these cards are looking a little bit interesting, right, if that makes sense. So the Page of Wands, where you are. Wands is about self-esteem, identity, all of those things, security. The Page is a young, youthful, naive energy. Okay, this is an innocent energy stepping out into the world, a little bit like the Fool. The Pages are a little bit like the Fool card, but this is stepping out into that world, but not being aware of any risks or harms. But this is reversed, which means it almost feels like that innocence has come at a cost. Do you know what I mean? It's like your choice in this relationship is coming from a pure place and an honest place and an innocent place, but it feels very much like this is almost being taken advantage of, right? The reason I'm saying that is that the relationship itself, how the relationship is going, we've got the King of Swords. Now, although I've got to say this looks like a particularly handsome King of Swords with his crows and ravens and everything, it's also not that positive, because the King of Swords is the trouble and strife suit, and the kings represent either masculine energy or they represent that authority energy, so a controlling element of the relationship. Now, when we look at the 5 of Wands coming through and we see your Wands card here, it kind of connects. So it's almost like I don't think that this relationship or this connection with G is necessarily equal. It feels like G's got the upper hand somehow. And when we look at what G wants, we've got the Ace of Swords. Now, this is reversed, but the aces are all about new beginnings, new starts, new adventures. And the swords here is new troubles, new strife, basically. So I don't think that G necessarily is thinking about a loving, warm, friendly relationship with you, whether that be romantic or in a workplace or as friends. It doesn't feel like G feels that you know, nice, warm, positive glow. It feels much more that there is a bit of a sticking point, a lot of negativity, a bit of a grudge or something happening. Connecting the two, though, connecting the cards, we've got from the Page of Wands, we go to the World. Now again, sorry, not the World, the Wheel. Now again, this is interesting because the Wheel is talking about the Wheel of Fortune, basically, and it's talking about risk and reward. Now there's a certain element here where it feels like you might be wanting to put your own needs way at the back in order to either re-establish a relationship with G or to continue a relationship with G in some way, and that feels like it's that risk, if you like. It's that the reward might be a relationship, but if G's going to be this King of Swords, is going to, sorry, if G's going to want this new relationship and the relationship itself is the King of Swords, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's very, very tricky, my darling. It's very tricky because it's saying that actually your best intentions could be misused and be in that power play type relationship where it's not always a positive, healthy thing. When you look at from the way the relationship is to what G actually wants, we've got the Three of Pentacles, which is talking about, because it's reversed, it's talking about he doesn't want growth. G doesn't want growth. They don't want this ongoing collaborative relationship, either with children or with a house together or cats or any of that. They don't want this. They don't want that continuing kind of growing and organic relationship. That isn't what they're after, because we go from this sort of troubled issue element to wanting a fresh start, wanting a do-over, wanting a new project, but still with this sort of element of difficulty with the swords. And then right at the very base, we've got the Lovers reversed. Now, the Lovers doesn't always represent romantic lovers, and when it's reversed, it doesn't always represent breakups. But when I put it with all of these other cards, it certainly feels that the base of this is that maybe G wants to use this ace and move forward, maybe not necessarily with you. I'm not saying that all hope is lost in this, but combined with the Five of Wands being in such turmoil around the decisions and around your confidence and also G's confidence and how the two of you interact, this card coupled with this King of Swords here, coupled with this, like these three together, it makes it look like the pattern would be quite clear that maybe the relationship isn't going to be on a green light, it's going to be on a red light. Do you know what I mean? So to answer your question, G's feelings towards you, I don't think they're positive. I don't think they are warm and loving and, you know, romantical. If anything, it feels like they're possibly the opposite of that. Again, unfortunately, it's not pleasant ever to have to give people perhaps negative news, but I can only give you the information that's on the cards, my darling. I cannot, like, I try and be kind, but this does not feel like it's what you want to hear, but it is absolutely what the cards are giving me, my darling. And I'm sorry that I can't give you better news, if that makes sense. But it does feel like this is either over or it's potentially a harmful situation that you might be best out of. And again, with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much. And thank you for your question. But also, do just remember that you do make all your own decisions about your own life. And this is just where the cards are. It doesn't say things can't change. And it doesn't say that, you know, couples counseling and things like that couldn't actually improve the situation, because I think that is always possible. But that is your reading for today, my darling, and thank you ever so much. Excuse me. Let me just... Excuse me, my throat is a little bit sore right now. Good evening to God's daughter. Please don't ask the question until we open up a round. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. Yes, I know, Ed. Ed's been trying to put an earworm in my brain for ages, and I've been ignoring him. You can ring my bell. See, it doesn't, no triggers. And even that Inky Pinky Parley Voo song, that's no longer stuck in my head. See, just not. Let's have a look. I will open up another round very shortly. Bailey Rose, good evening to you, Bailey. Good evening. Morgan says hi, by the way. Good evening to Morgan. I believe, yes, God's daughter, I believe you asked a question on Tuesday. Very, very similar. So I not only have you put the question in without the word question, but also it wasn't when it was a free round. And also, yeah, you asked it already recently, so I don't think we're going to be able to answer that one for you, my darling. But it is time for another round. I am going to do Mr. Lynn's question now. So I'm going to open up a free round. While that round is open, you've got literally the time it takes me. Oh, my God. We've been playing Bullseye on the Nintendo Switch, right? The old darts game on the Nintendo Switch, and I was about to say you've got the time for the board to revolve before I ask you the question. Okay, so you've got the time for Amy's question until the round will close, and then I'll get the questions in, if that makes sense, right? So I don't think that did make any sense, did it? Let me say that again. I am now opening a free round. So a free round is open. You will be able to put your questions into the live chat right now, and or send a super chat. Okay, so do that now. What I'm going to do while that round is open is I am now going to do Amy's question. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. So there is no list. There's no like anything else. All I do is I open up a free round. You put your question into the round, starting with the word question. So do that now. And then I will pick one of those at random. Okay, so the round is now open. The ticker tape is on the bottom of the screen. That is how you get a free reading. Put it in now. If you've already sent, oh gosh, bash my microphone. If you've already sent the question earlier in the stream, unfortunately, I don't have access to that. I can't go back that far in the stream, so you will need to post it again. So start your question with the word question, and I will pick one of those at random. Right then, Amy, let's have a look. Let's do your question, my darling. So a general reading for Amy. We can certainly do that for you. All right then. There we go. Wispy. Let's just cleanse the space. Wispy, Amy is a channel member, and Amy is going to get a 6-card reading, as if it was a thingy one, if that makes sense. Right then, Amy, my darling, let's have a look. A general reading, Wispy. That's what we want. A general reading for Amy. Oh, gosh. Oh, have I just put... Oh, well done, Lisa. I've just put those cards from the previous reading in the wrong way round. So they've all face up instead of face down. That's very useful, isn't it? That's a very useful thing to do, Lise. Well done. Well done. Well done. That's because I was talking whilst doing it and didn't realise, because I am a plonker. Anyway, right then. So, Wispy, a general reading for Amy. Don't forget, everyone, get your questions in the live now. Start it with the word question or send it as a super chat to guarantee that you are next. I'm just doing this rapidly, shoving these back in the deck. There we go. And I always put them in a deck in various... Oh, I've also just realised you can't even see. I'm on the wrong screen. I always put them in the middle of the pack in various places so that even I, in theory, don't know where they are, if that makes sense. So I don't do it whilst I'm looking, which is how I managed to get all of these in the wrong place the wrong way around. Anyway, there you go. That is all those cards in. And we will now go ahead and shuffle for Mr. Lynn 67, otherwise known as Amy. Yeah, Mr. Lynn. Mr. Lynn. Mystical Lynn. There we go. Gosh, come on. My hands are starting to not work very well. I know, right? So much about crocheting. Jay, if you're still on the stream, I was going to ask you to teach me how to crochet, but I don't know whether that's going to be a good thing or not, because I might end up hyper-focusing and learning to crochet for about 3 weeks and then getting bored, and I've spent like 200 quid on wool and needles and things like that. That's probably not a good idea. Besides, we will come in and see you sometime, hopefully this week. I know I said it last week as well, but we've been a bit deaded, a bit poorly, a bit knacked this week. So yeah, Amy, let's cut your cards. Let's cut Amy's cards. We're going to do it somewhere. It wants to go here. Look, you can see I can't see that line from my angle, but the camera can. Oh, it's not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting. Right then, let's have a look. So, the tower. So, where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity is. 3 of Cups and rebirth card. Right. Okay, Amy. We've got the Hangman as well. Gosh. Right. So you've got 3 majors out of 6. So then, in the where you are, we've got the tower. Now, the tower is all about expectations and things that have been built up, the rug being pulled from under your feet. This is talking about there being a major shift happening and a major, like what you thought was up is down, what you thought was green is blue, all of that going on. So it feels like this has been a bit of a world shock. Do you know what I mean? A paradigm shift is happening, but it's not come from you. It's not like you woke up today and said, I am going to now be vegan and live a totally vegan, ethical lifestyle where I'm never going to buy anything. I'm not going to, I'm going to grow my own vegetables. I'm going to eat my own vegetables. I was going to say my own reared animals, but you know what I mean? I'm going to live that country lifestyle. It's not that. It's like this has been forced on you. Everything you thought was so isn't, if that makes sense. Now, what you need to know, what's behind that, we've got the 3 of Cups. So there's a certain element here around, is there a friendship group that may have been, excuse me, is there a friendship group that may have been shifted or that may have fallen off? Or, do you have family members where that may have fallen off, if that makes sense? There's something here around this group of what would normally be seen as sisters, or the sisterhood kind of being a little bit negative. I love the fact though we've got the plow in the night sky. So yeah, that just, if that makes sense, does that make sense? So there's something here around this element of these 3 muses, or the 3 sisters, the 3, like a circle of friends, where it feels like maybe something has been uncovered, a truth has been found out, and that's also leading to the opportunity, which is about rebirth. So it's like, this is destruction, this is where that destruction's happened, if that makes sense, and then this is the rebirth, this is the new starts, and I love the fact that this is death and rebirth in the same, because obviously if you've just built a house and you want to build a new house on top of that, or if you just bought a house, and you want to build a new house on top of it, you have to demolish the first one before you can build the second. Do you know what I mean? And it's about that destruction leading to rebirth. We've got the Hangman, which is the connecting cards between the tower and this 3 of Cups. So there's something here that has been going on for a hell of a long time and has been almost kept from you, or it's something where this knowledge, it's taken you a long time to uncover it, and it does feel satisfying. It is kind of worth it in the long run. It is going to, it was worth that sort of sacrifice, but has it changed things? Has it altered the paradigm? Yeah, it really has altered how you see things and how you see those around you. Also on this level, we've got the 2 of Pentacles reversed. Now, I don't know, Amy, whether you've just separated from a relationship, or there's something like that happening, because the 2s, when they come up reverse, for me, 2, if it was this way, it's about 2 become 1. It's about, a couple, a relationship, a partnership, all of that. When it's this way, the cards are giving me that there's this sort of element of separation somehow. So it could be a physical separation where one of you is in a different place through work, because we've got the Pentacles card, or it could be that there is a, you know, an ending of a relationship, a separation in that sort of extent. It feels perhaps a little bit more like the second, purely and simply because of the root of all of this, of what's going on. We've got the Six of Swords. Swords is trouble and strife. Swords is turmoil. Swords is, you know, difficult challenges and difficult hurdles to overcome. But the Six is talking about it being around people and around communities. And when we go from the Tower through the Hanged Man to the Six of Swords, that looks like everything come undone. You've had to wait for this knowledge, but now it's like the people that have caused the shit are now front and center. Does that make sense? And then we go back up. So that information has led to either a split or some sort of divide. And then that divide is leading to this rebirth. Do you see what I mean? So I don't know whether this is a relationship, a working relationship, or a friendship. It could be a friendship that has basically been built on a bed of lies and has now been found out. And the reason I'm saying friendship rather than romance is purely and simply because of this 3. But that 3 could also represent family. And it's been kind of plowed through, if that makes sense. I hope that helps, Amy. Do you have any questions in the chat, in the live? I'm on the normal live now. Can you take this reading? Because it does feel very much like some sort of split or some sort of dissolution of something. I hope that makes sense, Mr. Lynn. I really do hope that makes some sense. It does feel, if it's any consolation, it does feel that rebirth is going to be really positive, because we've got, again, with in tarot we look for patterns. So in the Tower, we see the Tower is all like it's leaves and tree that's being hit, and then in the rebirth we've got the new, look at that, look at the trees there, super healthy, glowing winter sun. I would say that feels like in a really nice sort of setting. So we go from one tree and one wood that's being hit by lightning, and that light is destructive, through to the rebirth where that light is growth. So it really does feel like stepping out of a darkness into the light. It just feels like you might have there might be a few steps involved in that. Anyway, my darling, I hope that helps. I really, really do. And again, thank you for being one of our channel members. You know and you know where it's going. Okay, my darling, I hope that it helps having that reading. I really do. Right then, let me and thank you for your confirmation here. That's really important to me. So let's take the banner off and let's have a look in the comments. Right, let's have a look. So, oh gosh, Aisha. Right, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 questions in, it looks like. 4 questions in. Okay, so yeah, exactly, Patricia. The Tower needs to go down so a new one can emerge. Exactly, that's exactly it. Right, so I've got 1 to 4. How am I going to do this with okay, I will just go with I'll tell you what, Alexa, no. Computer, volume to 10. Computer, choose a number between 1 and 4.
Here's a number between 1 and 4. It's 1.
There you go. Number 1. So we go to, what was the first question that came in? Kelsbrick. You're the first one that came in with the, oh no, sorry, there was
Here's a number between 1 and 4. It's 1.
Sorry, I've just seen, oh, we've got more going back. Right, so I've also got cat. So it's 1 and 5. Hang on. This is very confusing because Aisha's posted multiple times. Yeah, 1 and 5. Computer, choose a number between 1 and 5.
Here's a number between 1 and 5. It's 5.
Okay, right. Sorry for whoever was number 1. We go to number 5. So the 5th question in on that round is, hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tori Kara, how will the next dance go? Ooh, okay. Tori Kara, your question is up. Let me just hit the star button and go over to that page. Don't forget, everyone, you can send a super chat at any time. That will guarantee that your reading is up next. Wispy, Tori Kara. Tori Kara would like to know, Wispy, how will the next dance go? Tori, are you a dancer? Is this a dance at a club? Are you watching dancing? Are you performing dancing? Is it a TikTok dance that you want to go viral? Oh, so many questions. So many questions. So many questions. So many questions. Right then, Wispy, how will the next dance go for Tori Kara? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where are we dropping? Oh, no, it's going to go again. It's going again. Oh, I could feel it. Could feel it in my fingers. Literally. Right then. So how will the next dance go? So we are going to do the about dancing. We'll have a look at how will the next dance go? Shall we just do, I'll tell you what, we'll just do the same where you are. Oh, Temperance. What you need to know about the dance, the Empress. Oh, and what the opportunity is for the dance. The Star. 3 bloody major cards, right? 3 major arcana cards. This is big. I don't know what this dance is, Tori, but the cards like it. They like it a lot. So then let's have a look. So let's have a look. We've got hang on a second. There we go. So we've got the Temperance card coming up in the where you are. Temperance is really interesting. That's the sort of standard image of Temperance. This one's a little bit different because we've got the moon and the sun's energy being mixed by this, I guess, handsome chap, I guess. And they've got the angel wings here in ethereal elements. So it's like they're not actually an angel, or are they? Because we've got the glowing halo as well. Anyway, what the Temperance means is mixing the 2 different energies. It's negotiating, it's collaborating, it's doing all of those things where you compromise a situation. So if there is something in this dance that you are wanting and the other person, your dancing partner or whoever the people are dancing, if you're choreographing it or whatever, it's talking about compromising. Okay, so you need to find a way of compromising to get what you both want out of this. So if you're doing, what do I know about dance? Very little, but I don't know. If you're doing, I can jive. I used to be able to jive before the fibro. So say you're doing the jive step, right? And you want to do lots of fast kicks and then like super fast kicks in a routine where it's very, 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 very fast. And your dancing partner or the people you're choreographing are like, maybe we only want to do 1 section of super fast kicks, and you're going, no, it needs to be 3 sections or 4 sections because this is going to do this, this, and this. Maybe you compromise with 2. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing. So if there's something you want to put into the dance, you know, we're going to do the I can't remember what it was called, the grapevine. We're going to do a grapevine. See, I did know some of this dance stuff back in the day when I was on stage, back in my youth. Well, a few years ago. It's like if you want to do certain steps or you want to perform it a certain way, then you have to make sure that everybody's on board for it to work together, because the whole point of dance is that, you know, you've got this multiple individuals combined into one so that you've got this story being told, and the story is important, and the people involved dancing either as one or telling a story separately, that is all really, really important. So this element of compromise, this element of negotiated agreement is really important. And the fact that you've got 3 major arcanas is also really important. Now, what you need to know, the Empress is coming in. Now, the Empress is one of my favorite cards, but she comes in with abundance. So it could be that there is a victory here. It could be that there is some sort of, you know, trophy, cash payout, you know, some winning. So I don't know whether this is like state finals. I don't know what that means. I've just watched Pitch Perfect, not too far off, and again, we're going to finals, or regionals or whatever. So I don't know whether there's something here about winning and financial gain, but there is something here about nurturing. Again, this caring element. So coming in with this temperance, what you need to know, if there is an element where you are disagreeing with the dancers or your dance partner or whoever it is, maybe you need to be a bit more caring and empathetic to their needs. So again, the only thing I know is about jive steps, right? I know very little about, well, I know a little bit about dance, but the only thing I can remember right now is a jive step. So say you're doing this jive competition and you want it to be super fast all the way through, but one of the dancers is unable to do that. This is where you need to be a bit compassionate and a little bit empathetic to their needs, and maybe just do the 2 sections rather than one, or maybe take it slightly slower. Maybe there needs to be a change of music so that you can be empathetic and compassionate. And then in the opportunity, now this is really exciting because you've got the star. Oh, hang on, it didn't play. There we go. You've got the star. Now, the star normally is about wishful thinking, but in the opportunity position, again, it's about becoming a star, having your name in lights, having what you've wished for come true. This is really positive, that there is this opportunity, as long as you work with this negotiated agreement so that everybody is happy with what they're doing, and you look at this nurturing, this really warm connective energy between whoever the dancers are. If you focus on that and focus on this really, like, the people and the story and how they connect, then it feels like you've got this victory. Maybe not in the bag, maybe it's going to take a lot of work because dancing is bloody hard, but this abundance element coming in with the Empress, this element of money, riches, that coming in with the star. If this is a big important dance comp, it looks like the odds are in your favor, my darling. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Again, excuse my poor language skills in relation to dance. I know what a jive step is, and I know what a grapevine is. Don't necessarily know that they go in the same routine. Don't necessarily know that they are actually both in the same, because there's ballroom and Latin and other things. It's been a long time since I've watched Strictly Come Dancing, so I don't know. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense to you, Tori. And thank you very much for your question. Let's have a look. Oh, God, Jesus. Hang on. What? Oh, Crystal Rose is here. Good evening, Crystal Rose. Hang on. Swing dance. That's the 1950s style one, isn't it? With the big petticoats, and where the person in the petticoats, which is normally the girl, but sometimes for same-sex couples it isn't. But they do all the swinging around the body thing like that. Yeah, I know what I mean. East Coast and West Coast swing don't mean a thing if you ain't got no swing. Do be do be do. I don't know what Leo is. Yes, you just lost. What? You just lost £125. Jesus. Well done, you. That's incredible. And your triple steps are more on time now. I don't know what a triple step is. Is that where it's really fast? Jack and Jill's. You don't pick partner or music. Oh, jive is East Coast. Oh, I was right with something then. Jack and Jill. So basically, you just get given a partner and you've got to come up with it on the spot. Oh, West Coast is to modern music, jazz. Okay, that's cool. That sounds really cool. You have to let us know how you go. I'm sure the Jack and Jill's, that's where you randomly get allocated a partner, and then you've got to come up with a routine on the spot. So that's where the compromise card comes in, that temperance card, and that nurturing card is maybe be kind to yourself and kind to your new dance partner. And if there is any chance of winning, that's where the star comes in. Wow. That's so cool. You lost £99. Gosh, we've got some winners here. Wow, done. I've gained that much. Probably. Although I did get on the scales at work. Nikita, just hold your question for a second, my darling. I'm opening up another round very, very soon. I did get on the scales. I say at work, bloody hell, where I volunteer. And I had binged massively over the last couple of weeks. I've now stopped that, and what would have been a massive gain now looks to be a small gain. So I'm happy with that, because it would have been a massive gain. Trust me, it would have been a massive gain. But yeah, I am working on that now, and I'm actually contacting an eating disorder place. So yeah, hopefully I am whatever, 5 days in recovery or something like that. And so hopefully that's going to continue. So yay, good luck to and well done to everybody who's lost some weight. Only if that was intentional. If it was because you were poorly or because of other issues, then, you know, yeah. But also, I've got to say, not everybody is able to lose weight, and you've just got to learn to accept your body how it is, whether that is super small, super big, whatever, in between. Just love your body. It's the only one you got. And on that note, let's have a final round. Thank you, Patricia. I know, right? I feel so much more positive. And like this morning, I gave the dogs a custard cream with their when they were let out of their bed. They had a custard cream biscuit. I know. I didn't even sniff one. Not even a sniff. Not even one. Not even a lick. Nothing. And I didn't even want it. So there you go. That's a massive, humongous change in my life. I'm just refilling my coffee, because that is one thing I'm never going to give up. My ability for my addiction to coffee. I am never giving that up. I love it too much. You're built for comfort now, not for speed. Exactly. I am built for comfort. I am built like, no, Lisa, don't say that, because it will reveal too much about your bedroom life. I am built for comfort. Let's just put it there. Oh gosh, hang on, I'm blushing. Oh dear. Right, we should all learn to love ourselves regardless of size or shape, even if we want to make changes. You can always make changes, but the aim should be to do it because you want to, not because anybody else or there's societal gain or pressure or anything else like that. You should do things because you want to, and that is that. Exactly. Coffee is life. Oh, hang on. Oh. You changed your view from stopping yourself from eating to nourishing your body with whatever you want. It just happens bad food hurts your tummy. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. This is kind of where I am as well. Because again, I tell you what. Let's open a round. Tell you what, we'll open a round right now. Go ahead and put your questions in for the last time tonight. Go ahead, put your questions in, starting with the word question. Oh, no, there you go. I meant to change the buttons. So do that right now. And this is how you get a reading on the channel. You can do it via a super chat that guarantees you'll be next, or you can put it in the live chat, starting with the word question, and I will grab one of those at random, or if there's one I'm particularly drawn to. And I'll come back to this story about loving yourself after this. So then, I'll give you a couple of seconds while I talk about this other thing to get your questions in if you haven't done already. We've got 9 or 10 watching, and we've only got a couple of questions in. So if there no more questions come in, then we will close the round. Patricia, you're a BMW model, not an MG midget. Exactly. Now the thing is learning to love that you are a BMW and not wanting to be a MG midget, or learning to love the fact that you are a 4x4 and not a Ferrari. Do you know what I mean? If you can accept what you are, then maybe you just want to be a BMW, but you might want to give it a little extra polish, or you might want to put some nice rims on it, or you might want to charge the engine a little bit. Do you know what I mean? You can still be your BMW 7 Series or 9 Series or whatever the hell they are these days, XYZ series. You can still do that. You just tinker around with it, and that's perfectly fine. However, if there's a lot of pressure for you to become a BMW when actually you are a Ferrari or a dump truck or whatever it is, that's when it's bad. I agree. Losing weight will feel good. I've done it as well, but it won't make you suddenly love yourself. No. And this is why I am not back on Slimming World at the moment. I am working the plan, but I'm allowing myself a bit more freedom, so that for me personally, it's more important for me to not binge than it is to be following a diet plan. So yeah, that's where I am in my life. Anywho, let's have a look. So all the questions should be in now. I've given plenty of time to get the questions in. So we've got Crystal Rose, Kelsbriek, God's Daughter, and that's it. Right. So Crystal Rose, Crystal Rose, Kelsbriek, and God's Daughter. God's Daughter, I'm sure you've asked this recently. my darling. And the answer would be the same. The answer would not have changed in the time since you last asked, which I think was only a week ago, perhaps. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to read for you today. I'll tell you what I'll do. Hang on a second. Right. Hang on, everyone. How detailed are the other questions? What's coming towards you in terms of love? That's quite detailed. And Crystal Rose's general. Right. I tell you what then. What I will say, God's Daughter, is that I'm unable to answer this question tonight, but if you come back on maybe next week's stream, either next Sunday or on Tuesday, then yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you come back on next Sunday and ask the questions then if it comes up, I'll be able to ask, if that makes sense. It's a very similar question about this same person. So yeah. Okay. All right. You're saying it's not the same one. Okay. I'll tell you what then. We'll do it with Alexa. So computer, give me a number between 1 and 3.
Here's a number between 1 and 3. It's 3.
Okay. I popped you in. There were 3 questions. I popped you in, even though I wasn't certain. And it came up with number 3. Okay, my darling. So if you're here on Tuesday or Sunday, if you get chosen, I'll do that then. So who was number 3? Hang on. We've got God's Daughter, Kelsbrick, and Crystal Rose. Crystal Rose, you get a general reading, my darling. Crystal Rose was the 3rd question. The computer said 3, so that is what we are doing. So let's have a look. So God's Daughter, if you come in on the stream on Tuesday or next Sunday and your question comes up, I will be able to answer that then. Right then, Crystal Rose, for the last reading tonight. Nope, that isn't changing camera. There we go. For the last question tonight, let me just, where's the buttons? I need to press the star. There we go. Come on. There we go. Right. No. There we go. Right. Oh, hard work doing this. As Neil will tell you, because Neil once sat in on a live, he was modding, sat next to me on a chair just over there, and did not quite grasp how many different moving parts there are to a live stream until he literally sat and watched me do it all, which was fascinating. Kelsbrick, your question didn't come up, my darling. I gave the computer a between 1 and 3, and it chose the 3rd question, which is Crystal Rose's. So as I say, it's picked at random, and I do it that way because it's fair to everybody. So yeah, my darling, yours won't be coming up tonight, but you can either book me at beyondauthentic.co.uk, or you can go over to fiverr.com and do it there. In fact, there you go. That's the Fiverr link in the chat. So it's always done at random. It's either done randomly with just one that I scroll up and down with the mouse like that and just stop, or it's one that the computer picks or the talisman picks, depending on which way we're working and how many questions there are. The only way to guarantee your reading, as we say all the time, is to send a super chat, but this will be the last reading tonight because we finish in 8 minutes. So then, Crystal Rose. Right, Wispy. Crystal Rose would like to know what is coming up in general, a general reading for Crystal Rose. What is happening around them right now? So let's have a look. Let's have a feel. I tell you what, we'll do the classic past, present, future, Crystal Rose, and we'll look at the energy that's been around you, the energy that you're with now, and the energy that's to come. Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. That sounds good. By the way, everyone, if you haven't done already, please hit the like button on the stream. It does really help. And also, if you haven't yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and then ding your bell. That one. Ding your bell. So that YouTube notifies you whenever I go live or when I post some videos. Now, there will be some YouTube shorts coming up. They should be starting at some point this week. So do keep an eye out for those. And again, any love and affection you can give the channel is always, always much appreciated. Right then, Wispy, for Crystal Rose, the energy that's been around. Oh, 7 of Wands. The energy that's currently around. The 4 of Cups. And the energy to come, High Priestess. Okay, second time for her tonight. Second time for the 7 of Wands as well. So then, the second of Wands. Yeah, that makes sense, Lisa. The 7 of Wands. What does the 7 of Wands look like? So there's been some difficult decisions, because 7s are about difficult decisions, and this is about your confidence. I don't know, Crystal Rose. I don't remember if you are part of the clairvoyant, clair psychic, clair, audient kind of family, whether you're one of the clairs, if that makes sense, like whether you're on the psychic pathway, because it does feel like there's been some divinational things at the moment, if that makes sense. Oh, hang on, what's that? Hang on. There you go. Thank you very much, Tori. I think that's a super chat. Hopefully I'm back on now. Hopefully everybody can see me. I keep flicking between doodahs. So yeah, hopefully you can see me now. Sorry about that, everyone. So Crystal Rose, as I was saying, in fact, let me have a look in the live. Let me have a look on the comments page. Yes, you are. Yes, I thought so. So there are some questions about either your ability of divination or whether you should go into a certain area. Whatever that is, it feels like those decisions have been really difficult recently, if that makes sense. And it feels like that's been kind of weighing on your shoulders a little bit, weighing on your mind. I think that the energy in the present, I think these are massively related, because this feels like a certain amount of insecurity and uncertainness. And then we've got the 4 of Cups, which is the 4 for me is stagnancy or stability. This, however, does not feel very stable, because the cups here are just like piled up, and it feels as if we've got this rainbow energy coming into this cup while these are empty. Now, this is where each individual tarot deck has a slightly different nuance, a slightly different accent, which takes the cards in a slightly different feel. Now, obviously, Wispy knows that, and I work with Wispy really, really well for Wispy to only ever give me the cards that mean something, even if on another deck it would mean something else, if that makes sense. So what this is saying is that there's been some questions over your own connectivity, maybe your own divinatory element, as well as your own spirituality. And that is leading to this feeling of almost stuck in a rut. But I don't want to say stuck in a rut, because it's like you're doing the same old. It's not that you aren't getting results. It's not that you aren't good at what you're doing. It's just that you kind of want to change things up a bit and you're not quite sure how, because it's that thing of, if it's working, don't change it. However, there's also that thing of, you've been doing the same thing for 20 years, maybe you deserve a change. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of both of those vibes coming in. But when we look at the future energy, we've got the High Priestess. So you've got the High Priestess coming in. So whatever this spiritual or this sort of divinatory question mark is, whatever this is, it's like the cards are literally saying to you, you've got this spiritual connection and it will be back. If you're not sure about where to take it, delve into it even further, go deeper with what you've been doing. So that could mean, if you are, for instance, I don't know, if you are a tarot reader, it could be about going deeper into the tarot. Now, some people go deep into tarot in terms of the history and the symbology, and on this ethereal level, this means this. I, as an empathetic reader, as an intuitive reader, I do read the little white books and I do go through those. But what I also do is I have my own language with the cards, and the cards that I own, the cards that I use, are very much defined by they're very much defined by my relationship with them, if that makes sense. So there is a lot of personal interaction and a personal way of doing this, if that makes sense. Now, for me, that is what I would say, for me, if I'm going deeper into tarot, I will, maybe look at this deck, sit down, go through each individual card one at a time and sit with it for a few minutes. Does this card still mean this to me? What does this bring up? And relearn the cards. I also, every now and again, go back to a Rider-Waite-Smith deck or a Rider-Waite clone to really go back to what the original tarot sort of meanings were, just to refresh. And so that's something I do. And then I will also go through some brand new decks. I've got one that I'm going to be reviewing, hopefully for the first part of February. And that is, again, looking at how does this compare with the other decks? How does this tell its own story? And so for me, I think this is about you going deeper. If you've got this spiritual connection, if you've got, a way of deepening that on your own, then go for it. If it means working with a group or working in new ways, then go for it. There's always new ways to learn. I know I keep talking about wanting to learn the runes. It's too daunting for me at the moment. So I'm quite happy in my little tarot lane, but I am doing more witchy stuff than that. So again, my connection, even though I'm still using, the same 5 or 6, 8 decks on rotation, I've still got that deeper connection because I still go in and do other witchy stuff with the dragons, with the not with deities, sorry, but with the dragons, with the energies. And so that is always being refreshed. But again, for you, it may be that you're wanting to progress this and you're wanting to move it forward. And the question is how you do that. And the only person that can answer that, my darling, is you. If you want to take up runes or, I don't know, pendulum reading or something else like crystal ball divination, scrying, if you want to take that up, there's plenty of information out there now on the internet, free sources, YouTube videos, lots of sources of input that you'll be able to find lots and lots and lots of information on, and just go and try it. Does it work for you? It might do, it might not. So yeah, you're the only person who's ever going to be able to tell that, my darling. And my best advice is always to learn by doing. So go and have a go at something. Let me look in the live comments. Oh, hang on. Yes, you are. You want to start your own business, but obviously worried about it. It's difficult. In this market. The problem is, if you're wanting to do it, okay, tarot reader, mediumship, but stronger with tarot, absolutely. If you're interested to start tea leaf reading, I've never done tea leaves. I reckon I'd be quite good at it, but I've never done tea leaves because we all use tea bags here in the UK. Very few people use fresh tea leaves. So I don't know literally how you would do it. Do you empty your tea bag into the cup? I don't know. So again, it's like I stay in my wheelhouse because I'm happy with what I'm doing. But in terms of a business, if you're wanting to do tarot reading or, you know, intuitive readings, divination as a business, it's very, very difficult. Very, very, very difficult. Because there's a lot of readers out there that will do readings for free. I know, right, on the YouTubes. But obviously for me, I do have my own website. I do have Fiverr gigs. I've got hair in my mouth. So there are other revenue streams potentially out there for me. And I've also got you know, events and things that I will do occasionally, and tarot parties I do occasionally. So there's other revenue streams out there. But what I will say is that increasingly people don't want to pay for those services anymore. And largely it's because you can buy a tarot deck now for less than £10 on the internet, and or even £1.50, as we saw in B&M. You can go and get yourself a cheap tarot deck, and then what? You know, if you can go and get one yourself, why would you pay 5 times, 10 times that amount for a basic reading from me, 20 times that amount? You know, a lot of people choose not to, even though I've got 29 years of experience of doing it. Do you know what I mean? So it is difficult. And if you're wanting it as a business, divinationary, you've got to have public liability insurance, which I think for me is working out about £18 a month I have to pay to be able to do tarot readings and not get sued. So yeah, there's a lot to it. There is a lot to it, my darling. But anything in this field, listen, there is always a way, right? There is always a way. And I have got repeat clients, thankfully, in with tarot readings. I have got repeat clients. I don't make a living on tarot. It very much is something that pays for itself. But I know other people that do make a living on through the tarot and through witchy stuff. So yeah, it's entirely horses for courses, my darling. And what I would say is it's very, very, it's very difficult if you're wanting to do the circuit or the tarot fairs and events. It's very difficult to get in there because a lot of them have their designated readers for certain areas, and it's very much a who you know rather than what you're capable of situation, unfortunately. But yeah. Oh, thank you. You didn't need to do that, my darling, but thank you very much. That's very kind of you. But yeah, as Patricia says, all the very best, Crystal Rose. I really, really hope that it helps. I didn't know you can use coffee grounds as well. I have just bought a new coffee maker. I found it cheap in a secondhand shop, a Kenwood one, and it makes 2 liters of coffee. So literally it's enough for 2 big mugs, 2 travel mugs. No, yeah, two big mugs and 2 travel mugs. So 2 16-ounce coffees plus a little bit extra, which is phenomenal. That suits me down to the ground. And the reason I bought it, it's got an on-off switch, not a switch you got to press. So it works with Alexa plugs. So needless to say, if I have to get up in the morning, or even if I don't have to get up, I just set it up the night before, put the water in, put the coffee on, turn it on, turn the plug off, and tell Alexa to turn it on at 8:30. And then at 9 o'clock, I've got a lovely, lovely pot of coffee brewed. And anyway, on that bombshell, thank you very much to everybody tonight who's asked questions. Thank you to everyone who has watched. How many questions did we get through in the end? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. That's not bad going, is it? That's not bad going with all the other rabbiting on and chatting and everything else. Yay. Don't forget, Crystal Rose, you can always offer readings on the YouTubes. It's always a thing. And it's very hard work not doing it in person, I've got to say. Gets a lot of getting used to. Takes a lot of getting used to, trusting your instinct when you're not with that person. But yeah, it is a thing that is possible. And anyway, on that note, from another YouTube tarot reader to potentially a future one, I will say thank you ever so much, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight and listening and watching. Thank you for putting up with the freezing. Hopefully I've got a brand new modem on its way this week, because that seems to be what the issue is. And yeah, I hopefully will see you all on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. UK time for another tarot reading session. And as always, I want you all, can you please put in the live chat, can you put the applause emoji, please? Can you all put the applause emoji for our wonderful moderators and our channel members, because they are the ones that keep this going. The moderators mean that I can do the stream, and the members mean that financially keeping StreamYard going and keeping the editing equipment going is possible. So yeah, thank you all for that, and I will see you all again next. Is Tuesday next month? No, Tuesday is just about January. I'll see you all Tuesday. Bye bye.